Good afternoon, folks. You're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm Nick, and today we're going to go over some wood safety, some hunting tips from a non-hunter, if you will. I promise it's worth it. So 'tis the season, right? It's beautiful out. Leaves are coming down, even here in Georgia, which our fall lasts like a whopping 2 weeks, where the leaves are actually worth looking at before they end up on the ground. So there is that. People are out in the woods. Bow season has started. Firearm season is starting here soon. So with that, I'm going to give you some pointers. Reasons I don't hunt are fairly straightforward. One is time. Two is the time that I do have. I'm better served doing this or spending time with my family. So I have no opposition to it. I actually like venison quite a bit. I have friends that end up with more venison than they can use. I eat it, and I'm familiar with the concept. So I'm not opposed to it. I'm not a PETA guy, but I typically don't do it. With that being said, I have had several friends and several friends of friends that have had issues hunting. Stuff's happened in the woods. So this is just kind of a PSA. I'm sure a lot of it is redundant information, and if this doesn't apply to you, well, sorry, but on the off chance that it does help somebody else, potentially save somebody else's life, I'm going to put it out anyway. I don't have any good hunting rifles on the table, so we'll use what we got. So one of the things that I've heard a lot about is firearm safety stuff. Deer camp, people are drinking, having a good time, and messing with guns. Always a bad idea. I've harped on that quite a bit on the channel. I've said no drinking and shooting. If you want to shoot and then have some cold ones with the boys, that makes sense as long as the firearms handling is done with. I think that is the go-to. Issues with people playing with guns, messing with optics, whatever, testing the action, negligent discharges and whatnot. And fortunately, the overwhelming majority of these that I've heard about, nobody has been injured or killed, but there have been a couple where people have ended up dying because of alcohol and firearms being combined at deer camps or whatever. So keep that in mind. The other thing is safe transport of the gun. I actually know a guy had a shotgun in the trunk of the car, went to pull it out, pulled it out barrel first, round was chambered, and almost took his shoulder off. So there is that. Fortunately, he lived, but he is effectively crippled with that left arm now. So be careful, be mindful of transporting your guns, know the condition of your weapon at all times, and don't transport it with one in the chamber. You could even argue that you don't need it loaded anyway. It's a hunting gun, it's not a self-defense gun until you get where you're going. Tree stand safety. Now, this is secondhand information because I don't know that I have ever been in a tree stand, nor do I have any desire to, after as many people I know of that have fallen out of them or had other issues. Tree stand safety. Be careful. Just absolutely be careful. There's all there is to it. Wear your harness, your lifeline, whatever they're calling it, to protect you if you fall. Going up and down the tree stand, probably not a good idea to have a loaded gun swinging around. So there is that. Now this one I consider kind of gospel for all outdoor excursions, whether you're backpacking, camping, hiking, kayaking, fishing, whatever, especially if you're going alone. Let somebody know where you're going. Let somebody know when you expect to be back. If you don't have communications, you know, you shoot a deer, you're tracking it or whatever, time runs over. Say you said you planned on being home by 8 o'clock and, you know, things happen and you're gutting a deer or whatever and it's 10 o'clock. Have some sort of plan with your spouse or your parents or your siblings, friends, somebody that you know is going to say, well, damn, it's whatever, and I haven't heard from them or seen them, and we need to take action. A lot of people end up lost, stuck in the woods, dangling from a tree stand, and nobody really knew where they were. They knew they weren't back, but they didn't know where they were. So again, and I consider that kind of just solid advice for any sort of outdoor activity. Being mindful. Things can happen, and take some tertiary planning to make sure that you're not, you haven't fallen and broken your leg and stuck somewhere and nobody's looking for you. I've harped on medical stuff a lot on the channel, both for tactical gear, your IFAK, individual first aid kit, things like that, learning how to use a tourniquet, learning how to use chest seals and whatnot, and disinfect wounds. Equally important, being out in the woods, I think it's very smart to have some sort of medical gear with you. Things can happen. You could slip with a knife while you're gutting a deer, even with bow hunters. So those broadheads are pretty nasty. Could absolutely cut an artery pretty quick if you fell on one or whatever. So medical gear and the skills and knowledge necessary to use it, I think, are pretty solid. Also, having taken hunter safety classes, and I know you guys are like, this guy doesn't even hunt. Again, I'm not opposed to it, and one day I hope to have the time and leisure to get out there and do it. Be careful, know your backstop and what's beyond. A lot of people end up hurt or killed by other hunters. You know, people hear a noise and, oh shit, and then they shoot, and yeah, it wasn't a deer, it wasn't a turkey, it wasn't a whatever, it was Bobby, and yeah, good job. Backstop and beyond, know what you're shooting at. Just don't fire at noise, don't fire at movement. I think that goes without saying, I would hope. It's kind of sad I have to say that, but apparently with each year with the fatalities going up, yeah, we need to talk about that. If there are other things that you guys consider highly important and must know or must do activities for hunting in the woods, drop them in the comments, please. The goal here is just to make sure that people are safe, that they have an enjoyable time in the outdoors. The goal is that everybody has a safe hunting excursion, comes back with the same number of holes in their body they left with, and hopefully some meat to put on the table. So to all my hunters out there, stay safe, guys. Be smart, be careful who you go with, who you hang out at deer camp with. It's absolutely worth maybe hurting some feelings to stay safe. I've done it before on just range days. The cooler of beer comes out and I load my shit and get out. And then we can have a conversation about it later. It's just not a risk I'm willing to take. It's not worth it. So be careful, guys. Stay safe and good luck hunting. I hope you get whatever you're looking for. And I'll see you guys next time.